So, for those of you who may not know, stalking on Twitch or cyber harassment is really becoming a huge problem as if it wasn't already a problem to begin with. Now, female content creators definitely experience this a lot more than male content creators, and that creates a big problem because a lot of the times females will be getting harassed by their own audience or people that pretend that they're a part of their community just to stalk them and have these unrealistic fantasies and delusions, just generalized delusions of living with them and dating them and marrying them and loving them. And it goes back to that topic that Ludwig had talked about, I want to say like almost 2 years ago, where he talked about how he is not your friend and how parasocial relationships between the creator and the community is a huge problem, and how some creators address it and some don't. Now, in the case of female content creators, a lot of the people who are experiencing this, it's out of their control. It's so beyond their control that they have to go to external resources such as their local police departments, and it's a huge problem. So we're going to get right into this. So for those of you who may not know already, Amouranth has been experiencing a problem with a person in their community who has been stalking her religiously, sending her all sorts of really fucked up messages and just a lot of really, really creepy ass shit. They've gone to such great lengths that they sold everything that they owned, including their own cat, and moved to America from Estonia or somewhere in that region. And yeah, they literally just streamed themselves for 44 days and 33 minutes. Yeah, streamed every minute of his excursion, internet signal permitting, everything on Twitch. Typically to 0 viewers, but growing as he gained notoriety. This man went to such great lengths that he literally made like a manifesto, like a video essay manifesto of, you know, the creepy shit that he believes that him and Amouranth have together, some crazy relationship that really just does not exist in the first place. It's getting to be a huge problem. And yeah, he live streamed himself literally just sitting outside of her PO box for 44 days and however many minutes. That's scary. That's genuinely scary because he knew that Amouranth would have to check that at some point, or have at least somebody who's familiar with Amouranth go and check that. And when you have somebody who's doing that, you're posing a risk to the creator themselves. Now, she said something about him carrying around a saxophone case and had a couple live streams with him playing the saxophone. Now, that I don't really know too much about that, but what I will say is that it is definitely scary when somebody is hanging outside of the P.O. box and holding onto a giant case that could potentially have weapons or something to harm Amouranth or maybe somebody else in there. Now, she said on Twitter that she didn't want him to come and didn't want him to meet him, and he would just respond with like liar, liar, fiance, and he would make dancing videos reminiscent of Buffalo Bill dance scene in Silence of the Lambs and kept sending them to her all while he was naked. Quite concerning, honestly, if your first intention is to go and do the Buffalo Bill dance scene from Silence of the Lambs whilst being naked and sending it to your quote-unquote love interest, you have issues. So she said at least 44 days, according to his vlogs and live streams. On Monday the 13th, he streamed himself as was his routine, and he dressed up and ominously carrying around that saxophone case or instrument, whatever musical instrument case it was, whatever was inside of that musical instrument case. And he changed into the formal attire that he brought with him and made his last mile journey to her residence. He cased the vicinity for about 30 minutes, and cops declined to act, which is quite scary when the cops have somebody calling them and saying that there is a threat, there's somebody who is on my property who does not belong here. Now, Amouranth lives in a castle state, so if he did decide to break into her residence, God knows what could happen. Now, he did this while being completely live on Twitch, which is just absolutely mind-boggling that nobody was reporting this to the police other than Amouranth herself, And yeah, the police declined to act in the first place, which is really crazy. I mean, I'm sure that police in general have been dealing with a lot more cases of online harassment and stalking, but there obviously is a problem when the police are declining to act on a situation that is absolutely mind-bogglingly scary. Now, she said, and I quote, "He started to try to break in / gain entry. She called 911 and it took them 33 minutes from the call from her calling 911 to having somebody arrive on the situation." Now, she said that an armed person or a group of people, some who she employs, had been over at her house for protection, given understanding the severity of what has been going on with her. I do not blame her for having protection on her and being fully armed and having people willing to protect her. This is a huge problem for female content creators. Their safety is literally being threatened, and it's going so far that it's not just Amouranth. It's not just Amouranth. It's not just hot tub streamers. It's even normal streamers, just people who are making just normal content. And I think that's the scarier part. The scarier part is that some of these people are just normal people making content on Twitch. Nothing sexual, nothing crazy about it at all. And yet there's a huge problem of stalking and or online sexual harassment or harassment in general. And this is something that definitely needs to be addressed more when we talk about female content creators on Twitch. A lot of people paint female content creators in a bad light, especially with the whole hot tub stream stuff. I'm not going to get into that. It's none of my business. But people paint female content creators in a bad light, and yet look at what they're dealing with. It is tough. I would say it's even tougher to be a female content creator than a male content creator, just based on the sheer interaction with your community that you have to deal with on a day-to-day basis. Now, again, as I was saying before, this isn't just the hot tub streamers or those type of content creators dealing with this stuff. It goes as far as BrookeAB. Now, if you don't know who she is a 100 Thieves Twitch streamer, content creator, just an all-around gaming personality, just another content creator personality. And she has been dealing with one of the most disgusting cases of stalking and harassment that I have ever seen on my timeline on Twitter. Now, Brooke has been talking very, very, very frequently about this topic, as it's something that she experiences almost on a daily basis. Now, I'm sure a lot of other female content creators are also dealing with this on a daily basis, and I don't want to ignore that reality as well. But Brooke has been very vocal on Twitter about it, and it's gone so far to the point where she won't be attending TwitchCon at all, just because of fear of her own well-being, her own physical well-being. It is absolutely fucking disgusting that female content creators feel that they can't go to these cons, so to speak, just because of their fear of safety. This is something that a lot of other female content creators have talked about how they feel that there needs to be more security at these cons, and there needs to be more strict enforcement of what can and can't go. A lot of content creators going back to Amouranth have had people who have come to cons to meet them who have been overly creepy, touchy-feely, and just overall disgusting, and I can't blame them for not wanting to go to these cons when they have people sending them really fucked up shit like this. I don't know if I can necessarily show this in a video, but BrookeAB has been dealing with a lot of shit. Basically, somebody threatening the safety of her life and her family's lives. This person knows where she lives. This person knows where her family lives. They know all about her family, everything. It's fucking disgusting, and they constantly send her DMs telling the fucked up shit that they would do. Like in the middle here, I'm just gonna put my mouse over it just so you guys can kind of read it yourself. But yeah, and basically, yeah, it's really just disturbing, deranged, literally unhinged shit. I can't believe that content creators are dealing with this. It's disgusting, and I don't blame her specifically for not wanting to go to a con when she's getting threats like this. It's literally just somebody who is deranged and unhinged in her community and in Symphony, her boyfriend's community as well. It's gross. It's absolutely disgusting. It's quite shocking to know that there's shit like this going on the platforms, and when the police get involved, a lot of the times they are unwilling to do anything. And this poses a huge, huge problem. You can't have female content creators, or just content creators in general, who make content for the enjoyment of, tens to hundreds to thousands to tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of people, and having people in their community sending them death threats, doxing them, sending them fucked up images, sending them basically like Ludwig talked about it, and I'm just going to briefly cover it because I don't know if I really should include this in a video, but Ludwig talked about how there is an entire subreddit of what is called cum tributes, where people, it's pretty self-explanatory, but they basically bust on their phone, a computer screen, a TV, whatever, on a just picture of a content creator or somebody that they want to tribute, and it's quite disgusting. It is quite literally one of the most disgusting things that I have ever heard about. This is something that was not in my knowledge until literally I watched Ludwig's video. It's quite astonishing that Reddit itself won't do anything about this type of deranged, unhinged content on their platform. I know Reddit is all for like everybody having a voice, everybody having a community, everybody feeling like they're in a safe space, but that kind of a community just breeds the most unhinged and deranged shit I have ever seen. And probably a lot of people's stalkers, a lot of female content creator stalkers, probably come from little subreddit or sub communities like that. And it's gross. It's genuinely disgusting and shocking. I don't know why that this would even exist on a platform. I know Reddit is a fucked up, weird little place, but this shit is just beyond me personally. Now, one more content creator that I would like to speak about is Sweet Anita. Sweet Anita has been dealing with a stalker for multiple years. This is going back as far as like 2018, I'm pretty sure. I did a little bit of research, not too much, so I'm sorry if I get anything wrong about this. It's not that I don't care. It's just that it's really hard to find any information, really. It's just a lot of screenshots of tweets that I see from Sweet Anita that I can no longer find on Anita's pages. Now, she said in 2019 that the stalker was caught and detained last night. He had a knife on him. After taking my screenshots, recordings, a witness statement of the assault from me and a friend, and having his confession to harassing me, he's been released with a caution. My dude just got a fucking slap on the wrist for harassing, assaulting, and showing up to Anita's home and literally hurting her. Now, I don't know what deranged fucking thought goes through some of these people's heads, but clearly they need mental help. Clearly that this is going a lot further than just an obsession with a content creator. It is going into the line of mental illness. If you are so unhinged that you believe that you are in a committed relationship with a content creator that doesn't even know that you fucking exist, you're deranged and unhinged, and you can't change my mind. You need mental help. Now, she keeps talking about this topic, and she said that he'll probably kill her before anyone takes this seriously, and that she said that she was going to be another canary in a coal mine, something along those lines. I think it's disgusting that she even has to have that thought, because the police are so incompetent over with her case specifically. And it's foul. I can't believe that female content creators, or just content creators in general, have to deal with something like this. It's beyond the line of fucked up. It is morally irreprehensible, and I cannot find anything that would justify anything like this. This dude's going as far to message her in her Twitch chat saying, "I'll kill you soon. Not with the cheap kitchen knife I had last time. No, I'm going to bring something special for you." Literally threatening her life in these messages, and yet nothing is being done. Now, she said in this tweet specifically that he stated this publicly last stream. Last time he left messages like this, he sat outside my house waiting for me to come out all day. Then he followed me to a shop. When I asked if he was armed, he silently smirked and then chased me. Two men, I would assume random people that she just had to be passing by, had to grab him so that she could escape. Clearly, this is something that it needs to stop. Now, her last tweet that I can find a screenshot about this says, if anything happens to me, I really hope that I'm the last canary in the coal mine. The law needs to change. No job should have such a high risk of R-word, assault, or death, especially not live streaming. It's crazy. These women just want to make content. They want to make people happy, and yet they're being mentally tortured, physically assaulted, and something seriously needs to happen. Some type of change needs to happen. There's clearly so many deranged, unhinged people that follow these creators, that follow other female content creators, and I know that this happens to content creators of literally all sizes. This morning, I logged onto Twitter, and I seen something from a mutual that I do follow where she didn't answer somebody in her Twitter DMs, and he was threatening to himself. He was threatening to himself and hurt himself and do all this fucked up shit because she didn't answer in 13 minutes. Do you know how mentally deranged you have to be to make an assumption like that? He thinks that her and him are like romantically involved. It's disgusting. I don't understand where the parasocial relationship that you have created, this delusion, this warp in your brain that you have created, has gone so far to make you believe that you are romantically, physically, sexually, whatever it is, involved with this creator who doesn't know you exist. They don't know you exist. You are just another person, another viewer to them. And the fact that you can make that jump, what, because you subscribe, because you're a tier 3, this happens to creators of all fucking sizes, and something seriously needs to change. And the last thing that I'm going to talk about, because it's a genuine concern. So a lot of people really don't know about this, and it was big news in 2016, but it never really got any bigger than that. But there was a YouTube singer, a creator named Christina Grimmie, and she was getting huge. She was famous for singing. She appeared on The Voice. She did a whole bunch of content on YouTube, and yet she was killed by one of her stalkers by doing a fan meetup after a concert that she performed. The man came up to her, shot her multiple times, and then shot himself. This is the level of deranged shit that we have to deal with, that these women have to deal with in the content creation field. We do not want to see, I don't want to see another creator end up in an article like this. Rest in peace, Christina Grimmie. She did not deserve that. I never heard about her until like 2 years ago when my girlfriend pointed her out to me. But she apparently was like a beautiful soul, just wanted to make content, was very happy, a very just great inspirational person. And unfortunately, she was murdered in cold blood, and the dude turned it on himself as well. It's one of those fears, a genuine fear that these female content creators are experiencing. These female content creators are dealing with this on a daily basis, and it can go as small as a couple of viewers to hundreds of thousands or millions of viewers. These content creators are dealing with this, and something seriously needs to change. If you guys ever see somebody posting some seriously deranged shit about a female content creator, about a content creator in general, please report it. And if you know somebody who is doing this, please report it to the authorities before something happens like this, before another tragedy happens. I am so disgusted that the police have shown little to no little action on this topic. They seem to not care. The laws need to change around harassment and stalking, because clearly, you know, anybody can just move from halfway across the world and show up on your front lawn, and it's going to take 33 minutes for the police to get there. If it's gross. It's gross. And a lot of the times, all these people will end up getting is a slap on the wrist. Now, I know in the case of Amouranth, her stalker got deported, which is a good thing. That is huge. That is amazing, because that is one less worry that we have to fear. I would love to see nothing more than reform and change the laws on stalking and harassment, especially online. I think that there's something that needs to be, this is something that needs to be addressed on a wider scale, and I'm very happy to see that Ludwig and Charlie have both made videos on this. This is a topic that I've personally been wanting to cover for quite some time, because ever since I started seeing Brooke's tweets on Twitter, I was shocked. I was dumbfounded that people could even jump to this far of a length. I knew that there was, I knew that there were stalkers and stuff. I mean, clearly, you know, even just regular women, regular men, anybody can experience a stalker. I have friends who have been stalked before too. Like IRL friends, not online friends, but IRL friends who have been stalked too. And something clearly needs to change. So yeah, that's pretty much all I got for you guys today. And, yeah, I'm going to link the content creators down in the description below, so make sure you guys go check them out and send them some love. Don't be weird, don't be creepy, and do not, for the love of God, do not harass or do anything that these other people have done. These idiots, these deranged, unhinged people, I almost called them patients, because that's pretty much what they should be. They should be mental patients, are doing. Don't be like them. Understand that there are content creators out there and they want to make content for you, but they are not making it specifically for you. They're making it for everyone. Yeah, that's all I got, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.